So today, lads, we are going to be talking about this article. It's like the most powerful women in sports, America's most powerful women in sports. But if you guys don't know, Caitlin Clark is listed at number 4 here. I'm glad they said America, because a lot of the time you see like these lists just being American people.
Forbes just changed everything. They did not put Caitlin Clark on a cute little list. They crowned her the most powerful female athlete on planet Earth. Number 4 on their entire sports power ranking, but the top ranked athlete.
Let's talk about Caitlin Clark flexing her muscles when it comes to being one of the most powerful women in all of sports. And I think this is an interesting list that Forbes put out. There are 2 WNBA players on here. By the way, for all the unrivaled, it's not a conflict of interest, folks.
And that is when A'ja Wilson started to lose it. This is not just about a magazine list. This is about money, power, and who really runs women's sports in 2025. By the end of this video, you will understand why Caitlin was crowned number 1 and why A'ja's reaction might be a huge mistake. Let's start with the part the old guard does not want to talk about. Caitlin did not just have a good rookie season. She broke the system. On paper, her WNBA salary looks like any other rookie, around $60,000 to $70,000. But once you zoom out, the real number hits you in the face.
But if you guys don't know, Caitlin Clark is listed at number 4 here. And the reason why I'm telling you guys Caitlin Clark, it says here, her estimate 8.1 million income for a rookie season. She probably made double that. And that might be conservative. Saying she made double that might actually be conservative.
$8.1 million in a single year. That is Forbes running the math. Salary, endorsements, appearance fees. One season of basketball turned into new wealth, and that is before she even hits her prime. The engine behind that number is simple. Brands know she moves people. Nike locked her into an 8-year, $28 million deal. Before her first pro tip-off, she had already secured more guaranteed money from one brand than many players will see in an entire career.
And by the way, as we look at this list, brand president Nike, CEO of FanDuel, and of course Gail Benson, who we just talked about. This is showing you what I have been saying. It confirms what I have been saying. Caitlin Clark is the most powerful woman in not just basketball, but women's sports, all of women's sports.
Then Gatorade stepped in. This is the same company that built campaigns around LeBron James and Serena Williams. They do not hand out deals to be nice. They invest in athletes who can move product and shift culture. Putting Caitlin in that tier sent a clear message. In the eyes of global brands, she is not just another good player. She is the face of the next era. Wilson Sporting Goods made it even louder. They did not just sign her. They made her the face of their basketball line, the first athlete to get that treatment since Michael Jordan. Every time a kid walks into a store and sees her name on a ball, that is brand power you cannot fake. But the endorsements are only half the story. Whenever Clark plays, numbers explode. TV ratings jump. Games that would have drawn a few 100,000 viewers suddenly clear over 1 million. Arenas that used to be half empty are sold out. And it is not just the league making money. Local bars, restaurants, car parks, merch stands, all feel it. Cities hosting her games see spikes on game day. Caitlin is not just filling a box score, she is moving cash across communities. So when Forbes says most powerful, that is what they are measuring. Earnings, influence, eyeballs, economic impact. Now here is where the story gets messy, because A'ja Wilson did not take that news well. Nobody is denying A'ja's greatness. Multiple championships, MVPs, a Hall of Fame legacy. She has done everything you can do on the court. But power in 2025 is not just trophies. It is attention. It is how many people stop what they are doing when your name shows up on screen. And that is where the gap between these two players is massive. The cracks started to show as soon as Caitlyn's Nike deal hit the internet. While fans were celebrating this win for women's basketball, Asia's posts suddenly shifted. More talk about paying dues, more reminders about real impact and sustained excellence. On the surface, it looked harmless. Lined up with the timeline, it looks like something else. Then came the shoe talk. Right as Caitlyn's brand exploded, Asia started pushing content about her own signature shoe harder than ever. Constant reminders, throwbacks, close-ups. It felt less like normal promotion and more like a veteran trying to prove she still deserved to be treated as the face of the league. When Time magazine named Caitlyn Athlete of the Year, the pattern continued. Asia's congratulations was technically there. A short post, a quick story, but the energy was nothing like the long, emotional messages she gives to other players. Fans noticed it. It felt cold. It felt forced. And then Forbes dropped the hammer. Caitlyn crowned the most powerful female athlete. Asia pushed down to number 15. Everything that had been simmering in the background boiled over. Instead of saying, "This is good for all of us," Asia doubled down on the same talking points. More shade about hype. More quotes about how real greatness takes time. More energy spent on controlling the narrative than celebrating the fact that someone finally blew the ceiling off what any of them can earn. That is not competitive fire. That is ego. And here is the truth the league does not want to say out loud. You do not get to decide who the face of the sport is. The audience does. The numbers do. The brands do. When millions of new fans show up for one player, when networks change their schedules around her, when sponsors pour millions behind her, that is not an opinion. That is reality. Caitlin Clark did not steal anything from A'ja Wilson. She unlocked a level of attention and money women's basketball has never seen. Everyone in the league benefits from that. Bigger TV deals, higher contract ceilings, more kids watching, more respect from other sports. If veterans choose jealousy over growth, they are only hurting themselves. So when you hear about A'ja Wilson losing it over Caitlyn being crowned number 1, understand what is really going on. This is not about a list. It is about who is ready to embrace the future and who is terrified of being left behind by it. Caitlyn is not just the number 1 female athlete on a Forbes ranking. She is the test of whether women's basketball can finally get out of its own way. If you are still watching, drop Team Clark in the comments so I know you made it to the end.
Enjoying what we do, and then just kind of took a path on his own. But it was, like Caitlyn said, leadership, self-branding, and this, I don't know, you pick up little pointers here and there, and to me that's inspirational. Whether it, just listening to Caitlyn, her work ethic and what's important to her, and I mean she's just starting, her round of golf, if her journey. She's just teed off on hole 1 or 2. I've made the turn already.
Caitlyn Clark was supposed to be the face of one sport, but her obsession with another one just changed everything. Somewhere between sold-out WNBA arenas and media tours, Caitlyn quietly fell in love with golf, not as a stunt, as a real obsession, and that obsession is now moving tickets, sponsors, headlines, and YouTube views in ways nobody expected.
So I just recorded a video talking a little bit about the Caitlin Clark golf situation, and I didn't realize how many people are there. Like, there are hundreds, if not in the low thousands, of people that are currently watching Caitlin Clark tee off. Like, that's crazy.
So how did a just average 16 handicap become one of the most powerful forces in women's golf without even turning pro? Before she was breaking scoring records, she was a kid with a pink junior club set, begging her dad to take her to the course. While most kids watched Tiger, her favorite golfer was Rory McIlroy. She sat in front of the TV studying his swing, dreaming about Augusta. During COVID, golf became her outlet. She played with Iowa teammates, battled her boyfriend Connor McCaffrey, and turned a hobby into a competitive itch.
Yeah, I think I'm just excited, honestly. I'm not a professional golfer by any means. So I think just having fun and like getting to be with, two of the best to, probably ever play this game. It's super fun and special for me. Like I'm a fan of both of them, but a fan of, all the women on this tour. I think it's absolutely incredible. So it's special for myself. I've tried to practice as much as I can. I mean, I'm just the average golfer, gonna hit some good, gonna hit some bad.
In Indiana, that itch followed her to local courses, where she got coaching and improved fast. Golf was still her escape until the cameras showed up. In 2023, she played the John Deere Classic Pro-Am, and it felt like an Iowa home game. Fans in black and gold lined the fairways. She walked with PGA Tour pros, and Ryder Cup captain Zach Johnson called her transcendent. That was the first signal. Wherever Caitlin went, the gallery followed. Then came the Annika Pro-Am on the LPGA, and the golf world saw her impact.
Yeah, you got that. There you go.
180 yards is fair.
In 2024, she joked that her #1 goal was not hitting anyone.
It is what it is. Just going to try not to hit anyone standing outside the ropes, but it'll be fun. I'm excited for it.
A few holes later, she shanked a shot into the crowd and drilled a fan on the shoulder. The bruise went viral, the fan laughed. Caitlin signed the ball, and the clip was everywhere. Behind the memes, the numbers were wild. Pro-Am ticket sales jumped over 1,000%. Social impressions hit the tens of millions, and Golf Channel added extra live coverage just because she was there.
We're going to talk about what Caitlin Clark is doing this week, but first we'll go back to last week. It was an amazing scene in the women's game as WNBA superstar Caitlin Clark teed it up on Wednesday in the Pro-Am for the Annika, driven by Gainbridge.
That's the Clark effect. In 2025, she came back. This time, she brought backup. Caitlin arrived at Pelican Golf Club with Fever teammates Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull as her caddies. On paper, they were looping. On camera, it became a 3-woman show. Live on Golf Channel, Sophie stepped up on the 10th tee, swung, and smashed a drive into the crowd. A fan hit the ground. Sophie sprinted over, hugged him, handed out a souvenir, and another viral moment was born.
Guys, this is bad.
I haven't hit a golf club in months.
You got me. I would back up, and I'm not kidding. I killed a squirrel the last time I did this. Oh my god, this is so bad.
You got this.
This is making me nervous. Sorry. Yeah, guys, come on! Let's go! Oh, is that bad? Shit! Come on, guys! Is that bad?
Nope.
Oh no! Oh no! You got it, girl. Happy Gilmore.
You didn't hit him. He just wants a hug.
He did get it.
He didn't even get hit.
Caitlin herself was rusty after an injury-limited WNBA season. She admitted she hadn't played much golf. But obsession is funny. On the 10th hole, she stood over a 35-foot birdie putt, basically called her shot, rolled it perfectly, and watched it drop. The broadcast team went crazy. That wasn't a sideshow. That was a real, remember this moment for women's golf.
I mean, this putt is unbelievable. Look at this freaking putt. Wow. Wow. Unbelievable. Caitlin Clark's got real talent, folks.
Here's the twist. On paper, she is not a killer golfer. She calls herself just the average golfer. Her handicap is around 16. On a good day, she can shoot in the 80s. But many days, she's just praying to break 100. Her biggest issue is a stubborn slice. LPGA instructors praise her posture and athletic setup. But even Caitlin jokes online that the odds are high she sliced it way right. She admits she tries to kill the ball, and she laughs about tripling 3 holes in a row and wanting to throw her club into the water. So why does her golf obsession matter so much? Because while her swing is a work in progress, her value in golf is already fully built. She's a Gainbridge ambassador. The same company that sponsors the Annika also owns naming rights to Gainbridge Fieldhouse, where the Fever play. Her presence gives them something money can't buy: a bridge between the WNBA and the LPGA, between basketball fans and viewers who would never watch a women's golf event without her name on it. Her Annika appearances have driven spikes in ticket sales, TV coverage, and social engagement. Nelly Korda, the face of women's golf, has called the atmosphere around Caitlin something out of a book, saying it's crazy how many people she brings to another sport. They've built a friendship, trading jokes, custom golf shoes, and light trash talk about who would win if they switched courts. Then the internet pushed it further. Barstool's Dave Portnoy announced a sequel to his Internet Invitational golf series and teased a purse that could hit $10 million. On his show, he said he has invited 2 people so far, Kai Trump and Caitlin Clark. Both, he claims, have already said yes. Suddenly, Caitlin's love for golf isn't just a hobby. It's a bargaining chip in a media world where crossover stars drive everything. One appearance from her can pull in millions of views, reshape sponsorship deals, and blur the line between traditional sports and creator-style events. Here's the simple truth. Caitlin Clark doesn't need golf to stay famous. Basketball already made her a superstar. But golf now needs Caitlin if it wants to stay relevant with a younger, crossover audience that lives online. Her golf obsession changed how brands think about ambassadors. It changed how the LPGA uses celebrity fields. It changed what a WNBA off-season looks like, turning it into extra content, headlines, and viral clips. The only real question now is this: does she keep golf as her escape, or does she lean all the way in and become the first true 2-sport media superstar of the streaming era? Let me know what you think. Should Caitlin keep golf casual or chase these massive events and change the game forever? If you're still watching, drop "Golf changed everything" in the comments so I know you made it to the end.
So, lads, today we're going to be talking about Sophie Cunningham, and one of the clips from Sophie Cunningham that I've been sent quite a few times. Sophie Cunningham is, in general, slowly becoming one of the kind of the more likable players in the WNBA, and this is realistically one of her pretty much, defending the other players. She's defending the players in the league because of obviously the whole freaking the bullshit.
Caitlin Clark might actually quit the WNBA. After the WNBA banned her toughest teammate, Sophie Cunningham, a lot of people inside women's basketball are asking the same thing.
Well, we're going to talk about Sophie Cunningham making some comments about WNBA fans, what she believes fans may not have right about WNBA players, and how a lot of fans feel about, I would assume, hard plays, aggressive plays. I'm not quite sure. I think there's a difference between hustle plays and aggressive defense and then dirty play. So I assume she wouldn't mean dirty play here.
Why would the face of the league stay in a system that punishes the players who protect her and still pays her less than new leagues are willing to offer? In this video, we are breaking down why Caitlin Clark is ready to quit the WNBA, what really happened with the Sophie Cunningham ban, and how a brand new women's basketball super league could steal Clark away from the Indiana Fever.
And she makes some comments about Project B that's very interesting. And I think she's saying the quiet part out loud, that some players may forego the WNBA not unrivaled, the W in order to play in this new league.
Caitlin Clark is the biggest star the WNBA has ever seen. She moves ratings, she sells out arenas, and every time the Indiana Fever play, the numbers jump. Yet night after night, she takes hard hits, extra contact, and cheap shots that the league is always one step too late to control. That is where Sophie Cunningham comes in. Sophie built a reputation in the WNBA as an enforcer. She plays physical, she sets hard screens, and she sends a clear message. If you go after my star, you are going to feel it.
Here's Sophie Cunningham, the badass for the Indiana Fever, who is willing to fight.
Sure.
Which we are big fans of for Caitlin Clark. She was also a kicker in high school. Okay.
Oh, wow.
For the brand. Obviously, the kicker is the biggest badass on the court. I love everything about it. Sophie, welcome to Indianapolis. Love that she was a kicker. That's a big ball, too. Hey, that's a good thump. Wow. That's a good kick right there. Obviously, she chose basketball, became a professional. But I love that she stepped foot on the field. The amount of courage it takes. She was a black belt in 6th grade or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, an absolute dog. Now she's a member of the Fever. We're thankful for.
When fans started asking who would become Caitlin Clark's bodyguard in the WNBA, Sophie Cunningham was at the top of every list. But the league saw something very different. After a series of rough plays and viral clips, the WNBA came down hard. They suspended Sophie, hit her with fines, and according to many reports, quietly pushed her to the edge of a full ban. The public line was simple. The WNBA wanted to clean up dirty plays and protect player safety. Sophie did not see herself as dirty at all. In interviews, she said she was speaking for almost the whole league. She explained that there is a big difference between playing physical and trying to hurt somebody. She begged fans to judge WNBA players by who they are off the court, not by a couple of slow motion clips on social media. Fans did not all agree. Some people thought the WNBA had finally taken control and punished a player they saw as a bully. Others thought the league was going soft and was now targeting the exact type of player who keeps stars like Caitlin Clark safe. Instead of fixing the problem, the Sophie Cunningham ban made the debate even louder. Now add the thing that changes everything: money. On the Good Follow podcast, WNBA legend Angel McCoughtry talked about a new league often called Project B.
The lady on the left is Angel McCoughtry. Like I said, we're talking about a real force in the league. 5-time All-Star, 2-time steals champ, 2009 Rookie of the Year, 6-time All WNBA, real player, hell of a good player. And she comes out, they're talking about Project B. They're talking about the money that Project B is going to pay and how that's going to, she gives you a perspective of how players are going to look at this money. And you can tell from her reaction, it's like, whoa.
She said this new women's basketball league is ready to offer minimum contracts around $2 million and give players equity in the league. She directly compared that to current WNBA salaries, where many players still sit around the low 6 figures.
So would you join Project B?
I would. I mean, I was making during that time probably the max was 90,000.
I mean, even just say like you haven't been playing the league for what, 1-2 years or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's just even talk now. You're a current.
Okay, I'm a current player.
These players are making max 250.
Now I'm making 250, then 90. And let's see, 5 million, 2 million. I mean, guys, you do the math. Who's going to turn that down? And then I have a chance to have equity in this league, and this league could possibly grow. I mean, Project B, AKA Project B, let's get it.
Angel asked a simple question. If a player can make $5 million and own part of a league, why would she keep putting her body through a full WNBA season for a lot less money?
It is common sense. I mean, honestly, I see a lot of girls. If you're going to get paid $5 million, why put your body through playing in the WNBA? That's what I see coming.
Then Angel McCoughtry brought up one name, Caitlin Clark. For Caitlin Clark, the numbers are even crazier. Angel said a new league would have to offer Clark somewhere between $15 and $25 million per year to match the value she brings. That is not fantasy money. That is what it might cost just to keep Caitlin Clark from walking away from the WNBA and from the Indiana Fever. So now look at Caitlin Clark's situation. On one side is the WNBA. It is the league she grew up dreaming about. It is full of legends like Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird. It is where she wears that Fever jersey, hears the home crowd, and plays for WNBA titles. But it is also a league where she has already taken some of the hardest hits we have ever seen, where her teammates, like Sophie Cunningham, get punished for playing physical, and where her salary is tiny compared to what she brings in for TV networks and sponsors. On the other side is Project B, or any new super league that wants to shake up women's basketball. Bigger paychecks, shorter seasons, equity deals. A business model built around protecting stars like Caitlin Clark from day one, because they are the product. There is no history, no WNBA banner, but there is life-changing money and control. When fans hear a title like Caitlin Clark ready to quit after WNBA bans Sophie Cunningham, it can sound like pure drama, but when you stack up the facts, it starts to look like a smart business move. The WNBA has shown that it is willing to ban or suspend the few players who are willing to stand in front of those hits for Caitlin. It has shown that it is slow to update salaries and revenue sharing, even when one player is clearly carrying the league into a new era. Meanwhile, other leagues are lining up with contracts that could secure Caitlin Clark's family for generations. So here's the real question. Why would Caitlin Clark stay? She can stay in the WNBA, keep trying to lift the Indiana Fever, and hope the league finally pays her what she is worth and protects her the way a global star should be protected. Or she can walk away, join a new league, and force the entire basketball world to follow her. Right now, the WNBA is acting like it can afford to lose players like Sophie Cunningham. The truth is simple. If those decisions push Caitlin Clark even one step closer to the exit, the WNBA is gambling with its own future. If you were Caitlin Clark, what would you do? Stay in the WNBA with the Indiana Fever and fight to fix the league from the inside, or quit and take the money from a new women's basketball super league? Tell me in the comments what you think Caitlin should do next and whose side you are on in the Sophie Cunningham drama. And if you are still watching, drop "Clark will decide" in the comments, so I know you are one of the real ones following every twist in Caitlin Clark's WNBA story.